Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to take a look at AMD because yesterday there was some absolute mega news that came out of AMD. The stock was up 23% and even today in pre-market it's actually up another 3%, and yeah, really good news for AMD yesterday, like game-changing news. So we're going to look at what that potentially could mean for AMD, but yeah, the Discord was absolutely partying yesterday off this jump up in AMD, and for me personally, like when it's your third largest position in the portfolio, that's that makes a difference on your gains when you're having your third largest position jump up 23% in one day. Absolutely amazing. Just a quick little shout out that I wanted to put out here. I did a video on Audio Boom, and that, we had a pretty good day on Friday, to be fair. And then obviously with Monday, we followed up with AMD having an absolute rally. But I put Audio Boom video on Sunday, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have Sunday off. And then I saw the Audio Boom rally, and I thought, no, let's cover it on Sunday. And I put the stock title in the video, and look at the difference on the views there. It was about a third of my normal views on that. And that's why sometimes you might see me and a few other YouTubers like not put stocks in the title anymore, because that's the difference that it makes on views. It's pretty dramatic. And 200 subscribers away now from 20,000, so if we can get there, that's absolutely amazing. But so let's go on to AMD anyway. So year to date now, up 68%. What a performer that's been. And since we covered AMD at the start of the year, when I started buying it, new stock into the portfolio, been an absolute mega performer. And I mean, from these April lows, the stock is up 160%. That's absolutely incredible. But you don't even, sometimes this is what I say all the time, like people think you have to catch the lows on a stock. Like you don't always have to catch the lows to make really good money. You can have a decent-ish average, and let's say like you even get it at like $96 and you're still up 110% on the stock. Like that's the thing with investing. Like sometimes I think people get so caught up on trying to catch the lows. You just need to have a decent-ish average and you can make money on the stock market. And also, once again, I want to make this point, like, this is why you do individual stock picking. Like, to make them sort of returns in a year is just absolutely incredible. Few times, like, and this is probably one of the most common questions that common criticisms that I get on YouTube is like, why buy falling knives? Like, when I started buying AMD, like it went on a downtrend and it fell like, from where it came at the start of the year to its April lows, it fell 37%. And I come like, oh, why are you buying falling knives? You're always buying falling knives. It's like, well, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered what the stock price is doing. I'm looking at the fundamentals. If the fundamentals keep improving and the stock price goes lower, I get more and more confident. I buy and I buy and I buy and I lower the boat. Sometimes though, if I see the fundamentals deteriorating and the stock price goes low, I have to go, you know what? I got that one wrong. Move away from it. And you know what, if I do lock in a 10-20% loss, whatever, because if I get the ones right and I get them right more often, then then we have the case where boom, that money that you make is absolutely amazing, and it's probably more than makes up for any ones that you have to take a whack on. And AMD exactly was that. And the sentiment around AMD at the start of the year was unbelievable. Like I couldn't believe the amount of negativity that the first 3 months AMD had during the year. Like the amount of people saying like, oh, it just keeps going down. The AM Advanced Money Destroyer, loads of stuff like that. And this is why you have to look at the financials, and the financials dictate if you're a buyer or a seller. And this is the thing during this time frame, like the stock just get weaker and weaker. And yet I remember AMD bringing out these reports, and I'm going, freaking hell, that's a good report. Like it's a 9 out of 10 report, that, and the stock's got cheaper. That's great. And you look at all the catalysts and going, okay, when they start bringing out these new chips that they're bringing out, that could be a real momentum driver for them. And now what we're starting to see is, the build-up of like, that's a key driver to watch. And if it keeps, if that key driver that they're saying will be very successful and start showing in the financials, that gives you more confidence to buy. And then what we had yesterday is, confidence that, these new products that have been coming in, which we've kind of been hinting at for a while, they're actually very good products, and that's going to lead AMD to do really well. And one thing that I said about AMD is that for me, AMD is only getting started. Like I've said for a long time, like AMD is like 2026 when I think the party starts getting really started for AMD. And I think once again, this is another catalyst where we're seeing like the 2026 is going to be the really successful time for AMD. So looking here, AMD and OpenAI announced partnership. So if we look here, first of all, one of the key things here is that they're going to be using the MI450. And that starts in the second half of 2026. So once again, this is what I'm saying all the time. Like, this is great for AMD right now, But I think 2026 is when you really start seeing AMD go another level, and this is once again proving that case, because you see when these financials will start kicking in and really helping them. Another key point is the MI450. So we've seen the products get better on AMD. The fact that they are also, they probably have OpenAI probably have a good idea what standard that MI450 is at, and the fact that they're willing to use that product says to you, like, we've already saw the MI400 start getting a bit better. It was the MI350 and the MI400. The fact that they're already going for the MI450 says that product is going to be serious. Really good. Real big competition in video, which is the game changer. And this partnership pretty much confirms that. So we're already going to see another step up in the products next year. And this was, for me, the biggest statement of, like, AMD's products are going to go to another step next year, which is probably one of the big things that I took away that nobody else seems to be mentioning in this report here. What is also crazy is that AMD executives expect the deal to net tens of billions of dollars in annual revenue. It said it expects to receive more than 100 billion in new revenue over 4 years, which is incredible, because if we look at what AMD, actually, I've just got to load it up for you guys. So if you look at AMD's revenue right now, it's 33 billion. So 100 billion in revenue over the next 4 years. That's more than what they're doing in this year, right? Let's do lazy maths. Let's say, like, it's a slow ramp up. So 2026 brings about 10 billion in. By the time we get into 27, like 20 billion. 2028, 30 billion. Well, the thing is that in 2028, if they get 30 billion from this OpenAI partnership, 30 billion is the same amount of revenue that they're doing this year alone. So you add another 30 billion on top, you're up to 60 billion in revenue. Doubling that revenue. And that's, not putting other partnerships in. That's incredible. And this was always the case when you hear me talk about AMD a few years ago, is that I said, the thing is that, one of the big criticisms that a lot of people said is, like, why buy AMD when you got NVIDIA? That's one of the big criticisms that I always heard about AMD a few months ago. And people did not understand, and sometimes this actually comes to a maths point of view as well, is that when because AMD was so slow to get on the AI situation, they've had no benefit from it. With NVIDIA, they've really benefited from day one from AI. Now, the problem with NVIDIA is that if they want to grow, let's say, like, I don't know, 10-20% a year, they've got to do 30 billion just in increase in that year to get 10% growth. The thing with AMD, because it's such a low base and it has so much market to take, and this is the case with this sort of partnership here, is that now obviously getting these, hundreds of billions of revenue here, is that AMD was at such a low base of like 23 billion in revenue. If they sign a contract worth 30 billion a year, it's not just increasing the revenues by 10% from AMD because they're at such a low base. This is increasing the revenue on AMD by double the revenue. And the thing with that as well is that all of that is going to flow mostly to the bottom line. So your profit's not even going to go in line with that trend. Your profit is actually going to see profit margin expansion. Your profit margins are going to be going up substantial amounts. So you're going to have substantial revenue increases, substantial increase in the profit margins and profit growth, and then the third beautiful thing happens: metric expansion. That's when you start seeing the likes of AMD, because it's growing revenue so fast, it's growing profit so fast. I mean, that PE ratio is not correct because of the one-time charges they're having at the moment. I think it's like 30-40 times earnings. But then you start going to 60 times earnings. And if you ever want to have a beautiful winner in the stock market, right? I say to you guys all the time, revenue growth is key. Profit growth is key. Your profit margins expand, so your profit grows faster than revenue is key. And then you get your metric expansion. And that's what you're about to see with AMD. We've kind of already seen it a little bit, to be fair, but I think we'll continue to see it as well, which is key. There's also that AMD has issued OpenAI warrants for up to 160 million shares. So OpenAI could take a stake in AMD with the amount of money that they're going to be spending on them, and that's also targets on commercial milestones. Now, fair enough. There has been some really strange deals going on like this at the moment. I mean, look at Intel and what they have going on at the moment. So I'm not 100% sure what I make of that actually, to be fair, but yeah, some really strange things going on in this AI space. It's like you benefit, we benefit. It's yeah, it's really strange, but that's also something else that's going on. What also is key right now as well is that what you're going to see probably in the next couple of days is you're going to see a ton of analyst upgrades coming out from AMD. And then what analysts are going to have to do now is they're going to have to upgrade the targets, because, you know, you look at all these targets here. This was about the OpenAI numbers in. So now they've got to start pricing all these OpenAI numbers in. So I was saying, I think I said a few months ago to you guys, is like, we're expected to do 28% growth this year. Next year, we're actually expecting a deceleration to 23%, which I just didn't see the case when we have the MI 450 coming out. And now with this partnership on top, it looks like, yeah, 23% is going to, I think it was even 21% at one point. You're going to see all these analysts playing catch up now. So these are all going to get hiked up as well. And as that happens, that's probably going to lead the share price to, you know, have a decent rally as that does start happening. So that's also something that's going to happen in the next kind of couple of days as well for these guys. So yeah, it looks great. And just going back to the numbers that I showed you guys. So this was originally my numbers that I showed you guys with lovely upside, and if, you know, there was room that they could even smash it. Now, the thing is, we've got to completely, you know, update these numbers now, and that's what analysts are also going to be upgrading. The last time I updated this, the company was a 286 million market cap. AMD now is a 330 billion market cap, so let's just update that market cap here to 330 billion market cap. Now, like I said, you know, this growth now, you could be on that top side now talking, I don't know, 35% revenue growth. You could be talking 25% on the mid side. You could be talking 20% on the low side. Profit margins, I mean, if you're throwing all that revenue to the bottom line, you're going to see probably profit margin expansion as well. So let's say that we put that up to now 18 times profit margins. Let's put that up to 23% profit margins. Let's put that up to 28% profit margins. So look, your upside's shifting up now. You know, I've got 30 times earnings, but if you're doing these numbers now, I mean, you might be talking where I'm just going to do the high side and mid side. AMD right now, you know, might trade at 40 times earnings. So even though the stock has gone up, the upside's now moved up with it, though. That's the really interesting thing. Obviously, I've thrown a few numbers in there. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. We'll have to wait a bit longer, I think, before we start seeing the numbers come through and what, you know, AMD start guiding for next year, before we have concrete and what we can focus. But I just want to show you that, like, because of this deal now, all the numbers have shifted up. So even though, like, AMD's jumped to my, you know, it's getting closer to my sell, you know, where my previous, like, high side was. The thing is with AMD now is my high side's increased as well because of this deal. So, you know, when I look at someone like AMD, like, you know, quite often when these big partnerships come out and the, you know, and the share price does have that big jump, I do naturally sometimes take a bit of profit off the table. But when I look at AMD, like, am I close to selling AMD? And the answer to that is no, I'm not actually close to saying, like, selling AMD. There's probably, like, I am up on the position, and I probably will lock in a bit of profit now and then to start with now, because we have made money. And as I say to you guys all the time, like, at the end of the day, you know, the aim here is that we're here to make money. So when I make money, I am going to lock in the profit. But I still maintain that, like, a good chunk of the portfolio, good chunk of the position will be maintained, because I still think 2026 is the catalyst year. Like, I always said, like, when the MI 450 comes out, I think that's when AMD then goes up the next gear. And that's probably, I've probably got even more bullish now in the last 24 hours because of that, because of this deal. Like, this deal to me, it says, like, that is going to happen. That gives me a bit more confidence. But what the big, like I said, and I haven't seen many people talking about this, but the next thing that's giving me, like, the next step of confidence with AMD is that someone like an OpenAI is already willing to commit to using that MI 450. Because that says to me, like, that new product is a major competitor to NVIDIA, and maybe even slightly better if they're willing to do that. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy with this, and really good update. And, you know, congrats to any of you guys, AMD shareholders out there. What a run it's been on. And, yeah, it's been with the Friday of already been, and then continuing since the AMD update has been absolutely amazing. So, yeah, happy about that. I'm the only thing is that I pre-recorded my video yesterday, so I already had to release that. Otherwise, I would have covered AMD today or yesterday. So that's why it's today. I think there'll probably be a few requests to talk about B&M. So I'll probably do the B&M video tomorrow, and my thoughts on that B&M update and what's going on there as well with B&M. Probably do that one tomorrow for you guys. But apart from that, hope it was useful, and I'll see you tomorrow.